You just spent 20 minutes explaining why that salesperson was wrong, laid out every logical flaw in their pitch, felt intellectually superior, and then signed the contract anyway. If this sounds familiar, you've experienced the intelligence trap. Your brain, the very thing you're most proud of, just got hijacked. Sarah Chen, a Stanford PhD in behavioral economics, walked into a timeshare presentation confident she'd never fall for their tricks. 2 hours later, she signed a $40,000 contract. The sales team didn't outsmart her logic, they used her intelligence against her. Research from MIT reveals a disturbing pattern. People with higher IQs fall for specific manipulation tactics at significantly higher rates than those with average intelligence. Your greatest strength has become your greatest vulnerability. Sign 1. You seek complex explanations when simple ones would work. Marcus, a software engineer with an IQ of 145, received a phishing email about a sophisticated blockchain verification process for his crypto wallet. A simple email asking for his password, he would have deleted it instantly, but this elaborate technical explanation triggered his need to understand complex systems. He spent 40 minutes researching the fake company, impressed by their technical language and detailed process descriptions. His intelligence convinced him this was legitimate because it was complicated. Manipulators know that smart people crave intellectual challenges. They wrap simple scams in complex language because your brain interprets complexity as credibility. But there's something even more dangerous happening when you do this. Sign 2. You believe you're too intelligent to be manipulated. Dr. Jennifer Walsh, a forensic psychologist who literally studies manipulation for a living, fell victim to a romance scam. She met David on a professional networking site, where he claimed to be a fellow researcher. For 6 months, she enjoyed intellectual conversations about cognitive bias and human behavior. When he eventually asked for money for a research emergency, she wired $15,000 without hesitation. Her expertise made her overconfident in her ability to spot deception. The scammer used her professional identity as a shield. She thought, I study this for a living. I would know if someone was manipulating me. This intellectual arrogance created a massive blind spot. But what happened next revealed an even deeper layer of this psychological trap. Sign 3. You need to understand every detail before making decisions. Robert Kim, a research scientist, spent 3 weeks analyzing a revolutionary investment opportunity. The company provided 200 pages of technical documentation, financial projections, and patent applications. His analytical nature demanded he understand every component. While he was buried in details, the emotional pressure was building. Limited time offer, exclusive opportunity for qualified investors, spots filling up rapidly. His need for complete information paralyzed his skepticism. By the time he finished his analysis, the artificial deadline had triggered his fear of missing out. He invested $50,000 in a complete fabrication. Smart people often mistake analysis for wisdom. Manipulators exploit this by providing endless data that keeps you analyzing instead of questioning their fundamental credibility. But the next sign reveals the most shocking vulnerability. If you're recognizing these patterns, hit that like button right now. Your awareness is the first step toward protection, and this next sign will change how you see authority forever. Sign 4. You defer to credentials and status markers more than others. Dr. Amanda Foster, a Harvard-educated physician, attended a medical conference where Dr. Peterson presented groundbreaking research on cognitive enhancement supplements. His presentation included Harvard logos, MIT references, and impressive academic language. She ordered $3,000 worth of supplements that night. Later investigation revealed Dr. Peterson had no medical degree, and the research was completely fabricated. The fake credentials bypassed her critical thinking entirely. Intelligent people have succeeded within systems that reward academic achievement and expertise. This success creates a dangerous vulnerability. You unconsciously assume others earned their credentials the same way you did. Your respect for intelligence becomes a weapon against you. But this next pattern might be the most personally threatening. Sign 5. You're addicted to complex solutions and sophisticated approaches. Thomas Wright, a cybersecurity expert, ignored simple two-factor authentication on his personal accounts while implementing complex enterprise security systems at work. When hackers targeted him personally, they didn't use sophisticated attacks. They called his phone company, pretended to be him, and transferred his number. Simple social engineering defeated the security expert because he was focused on complex threats. Smart people often dismiss simple solutions as beneath them. Manipulators exploit this by making you feel intellectually superior to basic protective measures while attacking through elementary methods you've ignored. Your intelligence creates blind spots in the simplest places, which leads directly to this next vulnerability. Sign 6. You see patterns everywhere, even when they don't exist. Lisa Morgan, a data analyst, received investment advice that connected cryptocurrency trends to solar flare cycles, Federal Reserve meeting patterns, and historical gold prices. The analysis was complete nonsense, but her pattern recognition abilities went into overdrive. She saw correlations that confirmed the fake theory and invested her retirement savings. Her gift for finding patterns made her vulnerable to sophisticated-sounding randomness. Pattern recognition is a hallmark of intelligence, but it can misfire spectacularly. Manipulators create fake patterns that trigger your analytical instincts while leading you toward predetermined conclusions. Your brain's pattern detection system becomes their manipulation highway, but the final sign reveals the deepest psychological vulnerability. Sign 7. Your intellectual pride prevents you from admitting mistakes quickly. Professor Michael Chen, an economics researcher, invested in a revolutionary trading algorithm. When early results were disappointing, instead of cutting his losses, he doubled down. His intelligence told him he could figure out what was wrong. For 8 months, he analyzed market conditions, adjusted parameters, and rationalized poor performance. His intellectual pride prevented him from accepting he'd been scammed until he'd lost everything. Break on 1.0. Smart people invest their identity in their decisions. Admitting manipulation feels like admitting intellectual failure. This pride keeps you trapped longer than necessary, allowing manipulators to extract maximum value before you escape. Your intelligence becomes a prison when your ego guards the door. Now that you recognize these 7 signs, you need protection strategies that work with your intelligence, not against it. First, implement the simplicity filter. Before analyzing any complex offer or opportunity, ask yourself, what would this look like if explained to a 12-year-old? If the core concept can't be simplified, it's probably designed to confuse rather than convince. Break 1 pause. Second, create intelligence circuit breakers. Set predetermined limits that bypass your analytical nature. Maximum time for analysis. Maximum investment without outside consultation. Automatic skepticism triggers when someone mentions your credentials or intelligence. Third, practice intellectual humility. Regularly remind yourself that intelligence makes you a target, not a shield. The smartest response to flattery about your intelligence is increased suspicion, not decreased vigilance. Fourth, develop pattern skepticism. When you spot compelling patterns, deliberately look for contradictory evidence. Ask yourself what data would disprove this pattern, then actively seek it out. Finally, embrace pride interruption. Set regular review periods for important decisions. Schedule times to ask, if I were wrong about this, what would I do? This creates exit strategies before your ego gets invested in being right. Your intelligence is a gift, but like all gifts, it comes with responsibilities. Understanding these vulnerabilities doesn't diminish your intelligence, it elevates it. True intellectual power includes recognizing your own cognitive limitations and protecting against them. The manipulators are counting on your intelligence to work against you. Now you can make it work for you instead. Stay vigilant, stay humble, and remember, the smartest thing you can do is assume you can still be outsmarted. New dark psychology insights every week. Subscribe now and turn on notifications so you never miss what they don't want you to know. Stay aware, stay protected.